गुरुरेव गति गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरुः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्मि गुरो मम पाहि गुरो सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेदकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकादराजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः. In my last video, I completed till chapter 15 of Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana, and we saw that Bhagavan Sriman Narayana, he came outside from his abode, and he saw the Sanat Kumara Rishis outside his gate. And the Sanat Kumara Rishis also, they saw Bhagavan, the Satvika Rupa of Bhagavan, and they worshipped Bhagavan. And Bhagavan, he himself manifested himself in this Satvika Rupa for the Bhaktas. He is the Antaratma for all the beings, but all cannot realize him like that. All cannot see him as his Antaratma. There are different shades of Bhaktas. Only some Bhaktas who are advanced in Bhakti, they know about this concept itself. Only the Rishis can realize or recognize Bhagavan as their inner self. So for that Bhaktas who cannot see him as their inner self, Bhagavan, he manifested himself in this Satvika Rupa, and he lives in Vaikuntha. And when he came outside, he saw his two attendants, Jaya and Vijaya. They did not behave in the right way to the rishis. They insulted the rishis, and so the rishis, the Sanat Kumara rishis, they pronounced a curse on these two attendants of Bhagavan, Jaya and Vijaya. They were very good attendants of Bhagavan, but since they cannot behave in the right way, which is pleasing for the rishis, they cursed him. And Bhagavan, he accepted it fully. And he said, "May I please you by asking your pardon." Like this, Bhagavan said, "Because what my attendants did, I deem it as done by myself. So, on behalf of me, you please excuse them. And I reside in all, but only the rishis, they recognize me as their Antaratma. They recognize me as their inner self. And so the rishis are very dear to me. I protect the devas, and more than that, I protect the rishis because they are so dear to me." Even in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan will say that there are different types of people who approach me. Some approach me to attain wealth, some approach me when they are in distress, and some approach me when they want moksha. But the rishis, they always recognize me as their inner self and worship me thus. And so the rishis are very dear to me. Like this Bhagavan will say in Bhagavad Gita. The same thing he is telling here. And he says that I am more attracted to the person who remembers me even in adverse situations. Because when the situations become adverse, we normally uh, go with the situation. We do not recognize any other thing. But some great bhaktas, they just take this adverse situation very easily, thinking of Bhagavan. So such bhaktas, those bhaktas are very dear to Bhagavan. Bhagavan says, and Bhagavan says that though they are my attendants, they have acted against my ideas and intentions, because I respect the rishis, but they did not do like the same thing. So he requests the rishis, let the period of separation, let them be separated from me, only then they will reform. Let them go to that lokas where there are three papas, kama, krodha, and lobha. But please make that period short. Achirata kalpatam. Please make that separation period end soon. This Bhagavan requests to the Sanat Kumara rishis. Hearing the noble words of Bhagavan, the rishis were so surprised and they were so pleased by the words of Bhagavan, and they said, Brahmanyasya parandaivam brahmana kilate prabho विप्राणां देवदेवानां Bhagavanatmadaivatam. You are too devoted to the rishis and the sages are also devoted to you. The Brahmanas and the people who know Vedas are even worshipped by the Devas. You are our inner self as well as the object of worship. What we all do is we think that Bhagavan is separate from us. He lives only in Vaikunta, and he lives in the temple and or in our puja rooms. But we do not, many of the bhaktas, we do not recognize Bhagavan as our inner self. Only by reading scriptures like this and by continuous practice, we come to know that Bhagavan resides in us. We realize it. We know maybe theoretically, but not practically. Only the rishis do that. And the rishis again says, Tvatta sanatano dharmo rakshate dhanubistava dharmasya paramo guhyo nirvikaro bhavan matah. Tvatta, it is from you, the Sanatana Dharma, it came, and Rakshata, you protect the Sanatana Dharma, and you are the Nirvikara, you are without any vikaras, and in the end, all that Sanatana Dharma ends in you. So it is from you, it came out, and you protect the Sanatana Dharma, and in you it ends. And we rishis and the sages and the munis and who are all meditate on you, we only follow that. The Sanatana Dharma is yours, the Veda is yours, and we only follow that, the rishis said. And the rishis also said that we know, Bhagavan, that we rishis are very dear to you, more dear to even Devi Lakshmi, who always do service to you. We meditate you as our Antaratma. We know that we are not different from you, and by that way, we know that we are very dear to you. And you ward off all the rajas and tamas in the rishis and instill sattva guna in them. If you do not protect the rishis, even the Vedas will perish. Because we rishis and the sages, we do yajna and we practice Vedic rituals and Vedic mantras and we practice Sanatana Dharma, it is proceeding, or otherwise the Vedas will perish. So we all know that you will protect us, and by that way you protect the Vedas. And hearing all this, Bhagavan said, Shri Bhagavanuvacha Yetau suretaragadim pradibadhya sadyah Sambrambha sambruda samadhyanu bhadda yoga भूय सकाशमुपयास्यत आशु यो वशाभो मयैव निमितस्तदवैद विप्राः. So these two attendants of me, they will get the Suredhara Gadim Pradipatya. They will attain the uh, Asura. They will become Asuras. They will be born as Asuras. And they will develop an antagonism nature towards the Devas. And by that way, they will develop an antagonism nature towards me too, because I help the Devas. They think that I am also an enemy to them, and as a consequence of this, their mind will be always in communion with me, always thinking me as their enemy. They have their mind in communion with me, and they will attach to me through confrontation, not peacefully or by any other way. Sambramba Yoga, that is always in confrontation with me. And this will help them to come back to me, Bhuya Ashago, very soon. So when we always think of Bhagavan, we go near him. In whatever we think, that depends on what the mentality we have. If we think him always in love and bhakti, then that will give pleasure to our mind. But if you always think Bhagavan as an enemy, some people do that. Bhagavan is the cause for all my mistakes. Bhagavan is the cause for all my problems. And they always confront with Bhagavan, even in this time. So for them, it will not be peaceful. Their mind will be distressed, always in misery, but still they think of Bhagavan, and so they go to Bhagavan very soon. And Bhagavan said to the rishis, Maya eva nimittaha. It is only because I wished it to happen like this happened. And the rishis, after hearing these words of Bhagavan, they were satisfied and they returned to their abode. They prostrated before Bhagavan and circumambulated Bhagavan, and they left this Vaikuntha and they went to the next place. Bhagavan then turned towards the attendants Jaya and Vijaya. He said, have no feeling for it. Whatever happen only for the good. Even though I have the power to ward off the curse of the rishis, I did not do so because I willed that it should happen. Because in the ancient time, in the previous time, Yedat Puraiva Nirdishtam Ramaya Kriddaya Yada Purapavarita Dwari Vishanti Mayuparate. In the this punishment was awarded to you even before this by Ramaya, by Rama, that is by Sri Devi, the consort of Bhagavan Vishnu, in Kruddhaya, because at one time Devi Lakshmi went inside she was coming from somewhere and went in, tried to enter inside the chamber of Bhagavan. And these two attendants, Jaya and Vijaya, they obstructed Devi Lakshmi. So in anger, she got very angry. How can you obstruct me? And she gave also Saba that you will be separated from Bhagavan for some time. And because of that also came into effect now. And because Bhagavan was in yogic slumber, that's why these two attendants obstructed them, not to disturb Bhagavan. Even though it is for the good intention, they have done it to the wrong people, to Devi Lakshmi and to the rishis. If it's all ordinary people cannot go there, then it would have been better. But it is Devi Lakshmi and the great Sanat Kumara rishis. So in that time itself, Devi Lakshmi cursed you that you will be separated from Bhagavan for some time. So all that came into effect, Bhagavan said. Mahi sambrambha yogena nistirya brahma helanam pratyeshadam nikasham me kalenalpiya sapunah. Mahi, in me, in sambrambha yogena, in the yoga of confrontation, in union with me in confrontation. That is what is yoga. Yujyate iti yoga, isn't it? Yoga is in communion with God, in connection, in union with God. It can be of any type. And when we are emotionally attached to Bhagavan with love, then it is Bhakti Yoga. When we are in union with Bhagavan by understanding Him, by knowledge, then it is Jnana Yoga. When we are attached to or in union with Bhagavan by using some yogic postures, then it is Raja Yoga. So all this by meditation, all this is Raja Yoga. So we have to be in connection with Bhagavan, and for that, anyway, we can opt for. But this Asuras, they want to be in union with the Bhagavan in confrontation. So they think of him as an enemy. So he will come to attack him. So how he have to attack? They have to attack back. How to kill Bhagavan, or otherwise he will kill us like this. Just imagine how Ravana thought about Sri Rama always. So is it not a very good yoga for that Asuras? Not for ordinary people, because thinking Bhagavan as an enemy always give pain and misery to the mind. Why do you want to suffer by thinking about Bhagavan? When we think about Bhagavan, we should be happy and enjoy it. But the Asuras think about Bhagavan, but they suffer. They are always in misery thinking about Bhagavan. Just imagine about the Shishibala and all the other Asuras who attacked Bhagavan Sri Krishna. They thought about Bhagavan, but since they thought Bhagavan as their enemy, they have to suffer that thought. But the Bhaktas, they enjoy Bhagavan. So here, Bhagavan said that because of that punishment, you will be in union with me only, but in confrontation. Sambrambha yogena nistirya brahmahelanam. Brahmahelanam is the curse of the Brahmanas. It will be erased soon. Nistirya, it will be erased soon because you are always in union with me, but in confrontation. Alpiyasa kalena, by a very short time, you will come back to me. So that's what Bhagavan asked to the rishis also. They should come back to me in a very short time. Let them have the spirit of separation, but they should come back to me very soon, Bhagavan said. And Bhagavan also telling the same thing to the attendants. Because of this Shapa, you will be separated from me, but you will come back to me in a very short time. And Bhagavan, having said this, he went inside his abode, inside his chamber to his abode. The two attendants, Jaya and Vijaya, immediately after Bhagavan going inside, they were hurled down from Vaikunta, and they lost, bereft of all their spiritual power and self-esteem. So it's a touching moment only. They protected Bhagavan without the right knowledge. So they have to suffer this separation. They love Bhagavan very much, but they did not have proper knowledge. That's why they obstructed Devi Lakshmi, the rishis. They did not have proper knowledge. That is the knowledge to be fit to live. The knowledge that is fit enough to live in Vaikunta. So they were hurled down and they lost all their spiritual power, self-esteem. These two attendants of Sri Hari, Jaya and Vijaya, entered the womb of Didi, and and it is because of them the effulgence of the world was eclipsed, and because fearing their ferocious nature, Didi had them in her womb for such a long time. But how long can she have that? These fetus in her womb. At last, one day, she gave birth. At the time of birth, again more bad omens were seen in the nature, in the world. Many earthquakes, strong winds, shower of meteors. So all these were there, and many people were agitated by this, seeing this. All of them were agitated seeing these bad omens, because they know when such things happen, something bad is going to happen. Strong winds like a hurricane or tornado, So, like this happened, but the Sanat Kumara rishis and Bhagavan knows what it is. So, the two twins were born and they grew up. Their body was hard as rock. Inherently, they had physical strength. They were such towering figures, and Kashyapa Prajapati gave them name as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So they were the first two terrorists in this manifested world. And the Bhagavata explains their nature. Chakre Hiranyakashipu Dorbhyam Brahmavarena cha Vashe Sapalan Lokan Strin Ahuto Mrityu Ruddhataha. Among them, Hiranyakashipu, he is the eldest, and he had inherent strength in his arms. And he worshipped Brahmadeva and attained boons from Brahmadeva in addition to it. So he had inherent strength itself. Naturally, he had a lot of strength, fortified by the boon of Brahmadeva. So he had tremendous power. And his brother, the second in the twins, Hiranyakshonujastasya priya priti kridanvaham gadapanirdivam yado yuyutsur mrgayenranam. And this, for the Hiranyakashipu, his brother Hiranyaksha is very dear to him. And Hiranyaksha has the talent to whirl the mace. He had that power of going to the war. He had always the mace in his hands, that is Gatha. Gathapani always had mace in his hands. And he also did tapas to Brahmadeva and attained many boons to win everyone. So with the Gatha in his hand, Hiranyaksha, the younger brother, he went to the Devaloka, that is to the Swarga. And seeing him, all the devas, they were so scared and they just scattered and ran around. Wherever they got placed, they just ran around. And after creating fear in the Devaloka, he came down and entered in the water of deluge, that is in the ocean, where the Mahi was there. It went up to Rasatala. He went there to the deep in the ocean. And there he saw Varanadeva hiding. When he entered in the ocean itself, all the aquatic beings, they were so fearful. They also ran everywhere. And he saw Varunadeva hiding there and he went there and invited him for a fight. But Varunadeva said, Pashyami nanyam purushat puratanat Yes samyuge tvam ranamargha govidam Aradayishyatya surarshabhehi Tam manasvinoyam grunade bhavadrishaha. He said, only that Puradhana Purusha, he is fit to fight with you. Na anyat na pashyami, I do not see anyone talented enough to fight with you. Because your way is Ranamarga Govidam, you are excellent in fighting war. You are very talented in fighting war, and no one can contest with you other than Puradana Purusha, that is the ancient being, Bhagavan Mahavishnu. No one else is talented to fight with you. I don't see anyone talented, and Bhagavan has taken several forms as incarnation. He will protect Dharma and destroy Adharma. So you go to him for a fight. Only he can contest with you. I am not ready for it, and no devas are also talented enough to fight with you. So you just go to Bhagavan. He will take some incarnation and come towards you. So you invite him for a fight or for a war. Saying this, Varunadeva just ran off from that place. And what did Hiranyaksha do after that? I will continue in my next upload. श्रीनारायणाखिलगुरो भगवन् नमस्ते. ॐ श्रीकृष्णाय